Hi everyone, welcome back to Understanding Mathematics. In today's video, I'll be sharing the solutions for the first 3 questions of the 2026 AMC with you. So now let's get started. The first problem, what is the value of the following expression? So that means you just have to solve this part. There's a lot of subtracting and adding. So I'll give you some time to solve it. You can pause the video. Okay, now let's solve it together. This expression is really hard to solve if you just solve it like this in this order because you might miscalculate at any point. So we can just regroup it like this. 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8 plus 10 plus 11. We can just do it like this. And then we do the minus together. Minus 3 minus 6 minus 9 minus 12. And then we just have to add all of this and then add all of that, and then we can subtract the two numbers like a minus b, and then we get the answer. Okay. So now let's solve this part together. 2 and 8, that's 10. 1 plus 4 plus 5, that is 10 too. And then there's 10, and then that's 18. If we add all of them up, it's 30 plus 18, which is equal to 48. So now we have the first number. So now let's do the second one. 3 plus 6, that's 9, plus 9 plus 12. And then simplify that. 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 plus 12 is 30. So 48 minus 30 is equal to 18. So the answer for this problem would be A, 18. I hope you understand the solution. Now let's go ahead and do the next problem. The next problem is, in the array below, 3 threes are surrounded by 2s, which are in turn surrounded by a border of 1. What is the sum of the numbers in the array? Sum means you have to add all of them up. For example, you have to add all of the 1s up, the 2s up, the 3s up, and then you can get the answer. So I'll give you some time to solve it on your own first. Okay, now let's get back to the problem. This is about reading the problem because you might already get some information if you're carefully reading the problem with me. As you can see, there are 3 3s and there are 20 1s, so we don't have to count them. So 20 times 1 plus 3 times 3 plus, now we just have to count the 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 2s, so 12 times 2. I did multiplication for easier calculating because if you add all the 2s up, it's going to take forever. So that's why I used the multiplication. Okay, now let's just solve this one. 20 plus 9 plus 24, that is equal to 44 plus 9, which is also equal to 53. This is not that hard a problem. So the answer for this problem would be C, 53. I hope you understand this one. And then now let's go ahead and do the hardest problem today. Okay. Problem 3. Haruki has a piece of wire that is 24 centimeters long. He wants to bend it to form each of the following shapes, one at a time. A rectangular hexagon, hexagon, with a side length of 5, a square with an area of 36, a right triangle whose legs are 6 and 8 centimeters long. Which of the shapes can Haruki make? Okay. Now we have all the possibilities like triangle only, square only, or whatever only. And so I'll give you some time to solve it on your own first. Pause the video. Yeah. Okay, let's get back to it. So for this one, we have to try all of them out to get an answer. So if you have let's just start with the regular hexagon, for example. So what is a hexagon? A hexagon is a 6-sided shape like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My god, my drawing is really bad. Okay, let me just read you it. Okay, this is a hexagon. And then it says the side length is 5. So like right here is 5, right here is 5. And then so like we have the side length for hexagon, yeah. We have how many wire we have. But how are we supposed to know if we can make it or not? So if you bend a piece of wire to make this hexagon, you're finding the circumference for the hexagon, right? Yeah, circumference means all of this for the hexagon. You don't need the area because like you're bending a piece of wire. Now we understand that part. So the circumference of this has to be less or equal to 24 because if it's more than 24, then we can't bend it to make this shape. So let's calculate the circumference of this and see if it's bigger or bigger than 24. So there are 6 sides, and then there's the side length is 5. So the circumference would be 30. If you're smart, you probably already figured out 30 is 30. Oops, 30 is bigger than 24. So that is not what this said. So for this one, it will be a hard no. Now we can do the square. The square right here. So the square, let's just draw a square. For example, this is a square. This is not very good, but like that's a square. And then the area 36. To find the side length of this, since those two are equal, we just have to, because the area is width times width or length times width for a square, which are the same, we just have to find two numbers when they multiply with each other and they're the same, they equal to 36. Which, if you know what is the square root of 36, you can also understand. The square root of 36 would be 6. So the side length for each side is 6. And then now we have to get the circumference. So 6 times 4, 6 is how the side length, 4 is how many sides, is equal to 24, which is equal to 24. And this inequality says it has to be less, the circumference has to be less or equal to 24. So equal to 24 also works. So the second one will be a yes. Now, let's just do the third one. The third one is a right triangle whose legs are 6 and 8 centimeters long. So let's just draw the right triangle. Okay, but what is a right triangle? Let me just tell you what is a right triangle. A right triangle is a triangle that an angle of the triangle forms a 90 degrees angle. That means, does this count as a right triangle? No. Does this count as a right triangle? No. Okay, so, but how do you know if this is a right triangle? Because sometimes drawing can be not drawn to scale. So, if you saw like an angle with this rectangular thing on the angle, that means it's a right triangle. Okay, let's start with the question. It says the legs are 6 and 8. Okay, 6 and 8. Let me just tell you, this is a leg, but this is the hypotenuse. But you don't have to care about that right now because it only says legs. And then, since I was talking about we have to calculate the circumference for all of them, but if you don't know what's the third side, how are you supposed to calculate the circumference? Well, we can use the Pythagorean theorem, if you know what that is. According to Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. What does that mean? That means if this is a, this is b, and this is c, the square of 6, which in this case is 36, plus the square of 8, which is 64, is equal to the square of whatever this c number is. That is very interesting. I hope you remember this one. This one will be very useful. Okay. Now, since we get this part, 36 plus 64 is 100. 100 is equal to c squared. That means you have to take the square root on both sides. That means to solve this, it's 10 equals to c squared. 10 is just equal to c. So we get this part as a c. C is equal to 10 right here. Now we can calculate the circumference. So 10 plus 6 plus 8, that is equal to 24, which is equal to 24. So that works as well. My pencil just fell. Okay. So which of the shape can hierarchy make? A square and a right triangle, of course. Okay, a square and a right triangle. So right here, the answer for this problem will be D. I hope you understand this problem. And I'll see you next time. Thank you really much. If you like this channel, please subscribe or like Understanding Mathematics. Bye!